Pop on a pair of headphones. I'm Richard Fair, and I want to take you on a journey into sound. A ginger cat jumps down from the wall opposite where I'm sitting and starts to cross the road. Has it seen the Tesco delivery van that's pulling out from Holland Court? Safely across the road, the cat now sits on the cool grass next to my bench and watches with me as a clean-shaved man in a white shirt and cut-offs rides past on a black bicycle. It's a Tuesday morning in a bustling cathedral close, and it's 10 o'clock. A woman with a purple headband and sunglasses passes, heading down towards Paul's Ferry. She has a second pair of sunglasses tucked into the top of her grey dress. She's also wearing a long black cardigan and black and white trainers. Her arms swing out of time with the quarter chimes of Norwich Cathedral. As the hours begin to ring out, another woman in a light flowery dress, pink headband and pink shoes walks towards the city. Her left elbow is resting on a beige shoulder bag. A fly buzzes, unseen, around my head. I presume it's not wearing a headband of any description. An older woman in jeans and a pink blouse walks purposefully with her white tote bag slung casually over her shoulder. Now, close your eyes and listen again without my words. I could sit for hours and watch the world go by, and often do. Most of the time, though, I'm watching through my ears. That first recording you heard was a binaural recording. Basically, that means if you are wearing headphones, you can pretty much pinpoint where all the sounds are coming from. That fly was right by my right ear. This is achieved by using a special set of stereo microphones that fit into my ears. For all intents and purposes, they look like earbuds, but each bud has a headphone that sits in the ear and a microphone that points outwards. It's not surround sound, but it's a pretty good way of recreating the sense of being in one place. If you haven't got your headphones on already, I suggest you pop some on now for this next recording, which is also a binaural one I recorded at the Ted Ellis Nature Reserve at Wheatfen in July 2013. My sound recording isn't just about nature and landscapes. The spoken word is just as important. In August 2013, while out driving around Clyde, I saw a guy sitting in the back of his car playing an accordion. I just had to stop and ask him what he was up to.
I'm sailing away in the morning. Is there something I can send you from across the sea? My name's Steve Evans. I would say that most people say I probably can't, or most of my friends would say I can't sing or play. So no, I'm not a musician by trade, although I have been paid to sing occasionally, but that's not usual. Well, I was born just outside Norwich. If you were born in Norfolk, then all of Norfolk is your fiefdom. That would be the usual way, at any rate.
And you've got a rather nice Hona there, is it?
This is, they've been making this about 3 years, and the Hercules aircraft of the Hona fleet, or of the Melodian fleet, is the Hona pokerwork. But that's more of a Morris dancing thing, and I wanted something that I could sing to, because tunes are not something that I do a lot of. So I bought this one once I heard it, and I'd be devastated to lose this. I've been playing 3 years, which isn't long. I've sung for quite a long time, and I've always sung, even before I sort of sang. And then one day I was in a folk club and I thought, I can do this. So I did, and I started off singing Scarborough Fair at a particular evening. I said to a friend of mine, Marley, I'm going to sing Scarborough Fair. If I start to stray, just nudge me back on the line. So I started singing Scarborough Fair, and within about 10 seconds or less realised that everyone else was singing a different version. There was a little dispute in Binham about a man had bought a house next door to the pub, and he decided to sue the pub. Unfortunately for him, it's like it is now. It was August, and so his dispute reached nearly every newspaper in the land, and worse than that, he found that he was suing the local charity. So after that, I had a little song that I could sing, which was sort of, well, you know, tongue-in-cheek, can be anywhere, but it goes something like, we are the urban dwellers, moved to the countryside. We've made a bit of money, with you we now reside. We like your pretty picture, we love your rosy cheeks. We would like to change some bits. We've been here several weeks, and so on. And that can apply in lots of places, but yeah, in North Norfolk perhaps quite a lot, and certainly down Southwold way, on that strip of land near Aldeburgh or something like that. In Southwold I can sing that to a stony silence.
What were you singing when I came across the green there?
That was Roll on the Day. It was actually written by a man he used to visit an old man who'd been a coal miner, and he had pneumoconiosis. So the song goes something like, as the dawn comes creeping, roll on the day, another night not sleeping. That kind of oral history is so important to capture, and that day I realised how essential it is to have some form of recording device with me at all times. Fortunately, the quality of the audio recorded on a mobile phone these days is good enough for any unexpected opportunities. This birdsong, for instance, was recorded at St Margaret's Church in Old Catton on an iPhone using the built-in microphone and preloaded voice memo app.
It's only a few weeks ago that I was there, but closing my eyes and listening, I can picture it all so clearly. Returning to the oral history recordings, where the interviews are more structured, for an exhibition at the Forum in Norwich in 2019, I conducted a series of interviews with people who lived in an area of Norwich that was cleared in the 1970s. Hundreds of houses and shops were demolished, new roads and housing built. A local photographer, Jack Roberts, captured some of the streets shortly before they disappeared forever.
I was born in William Street, 48 William Street, which was a delicensed pub actually called the Free Trade, which my father had as a hairdressing shop.
Jack's photographs were to feature at a special exhibition for Heritage Open Days, and the search began to find people who lived on some of those streets and in those houses that were photographed. An appeal went out in the local paper, and I set up a small studio at the Forum in Norwich to capture the memories. Here's a short example of the stories people shared.
I think it was sold at auction because my grandfather was quite a big cheese in Norwich, financially, and a dealer and all sorts of things. And he bought it for a wedding present from Mum and Dad, a delicensed pub. And Dad was educated as a hairdresser after the First World War, when they gave you a trade to come out with. So he became a hairdresser, and my mother had a drapery shop, which later closed, but there was a drapery shop and a hairdressing shop.
There was a hallway, and to the left was the front room. Awful Rexine furniture that, squeaked when you sat on it. At the end of the hall was a staircase leading up. To the left again was the living room, and off the living room was a kitchen. The kitchen had a door at the side which opened out into the backyard, and in the backyard there were two wells. One was up and out of the ground. The other one we discovered by accident when my father lost his spade, and then my mother's linen prop, and it just went on forever, and it was quite a cavernous hole. I mean, a number of things Father got rid of, furniture and all kinds of things, just went down this hole.
I spent half my life in that shop.
And me. I can remember running up the steps, pushing the door open, and my hand went through the glass.
Aww. Mr. and Mrs. Tradgell ran the shop, and an auntie of ours was it?
That was where I was born.
And I lived
there.
The next house down.
And then we swapped with my old aunt who lived here in William Street. We swapped, and I went to live there, and she went to live there. And you were in the house next door, weren't you?
And this was a real typical corner shop.
Yeah.
It was
before Trudgell's, Mrs. Keesing kept it, because I've still got a ration book with her stamp in it.
Oh, I can see lots of sweets.
There's a counter.
Yeah.
There's the big machine where she used to slice the bacon and stuff up.
Then there was a door through to the back room.
Yeah, and there were big tins with all the biscuits in, with glass lids on, so she used to pick them out and put them in bags.
And everything was dealt with by cash.
Yeah.
If you're interested in oral history, the Oral History Society offer guidance, advice and training, and I suggest you check out their website, ohs.org.uk.
This is what's his name's house, and that was there, and that's Malvin's car. That's the Cortina. Remember it?
For those oral history interviews, I used a Rode NTG2 microphone plugged into a Mix Pre 6 digital recorder. Now, these bits of equipment are not cheap, but as I mentioned earlier, you can get some really good results on your mobile phone. The binaural recordings I played at the beginning were recorded on the same Mix Pre 6 digital recorder, using Roland CS10EM headphones microphones. If you want to step up from using your mobile phone, I suggest you look at digital recorders made by Olympus or Tascam. Most come with built-in microphones, but I would strongly recommend that you buy one that also gives you the option of plugging in an external microphone. You'll also need a set of headphones that you can monitor what you are recording and that you can listen to while doing any editing or mixing. So, for editing, there is a great bit of free software available called Audacity. It's really easy to learn and use, but you will need a PC or laptop to run it, either Windows or Mac. I hope you found this short journey into my sound recordings both useful and interesting. I shall leave you with a recording of the North Norfolk Sea and the Sea Chantey, recorded in Great Yarmouth in September 2012.
Ah.